Hello! Today we are going to talk about a substance that is at the same time absolutely essential for life and at the same time causes anxiety for many people. This is cholesterol. Let me say right away, I am not going to burden you with complicated biochemistry and an overload of incomprehensible terms. We will sort it out in simple words with clear examples so that by the end you will have a clear understanding of what cholesterol is, why we need it, and why there are so many myths about it. And to begin with a small historical fact, cholesterol was discovered back at the end of the 18th century when the French chemist Michel Chevreul studied the composition of gallstones. At that time, it was named cholesterine from the Greek words chol, bile, and stereos, solid. More than 200 years have passed, and this substance is still at the center of debates from scientific conferences to kitchen table conversations. So, what is it really? Cholesterol is a fat-like substance, more precisely, a steroid alcohol. It is present in every cell of our body because it is part of the cell membranes. You could say that the membrane is the protective shell of the cell, which preserves its internal environment and ensures proper functioning. Without cholesterol, this shell would not be as strong and stable, and therefore the cell itself would be vulnerable. This fact alone already makes cholesterol a substance without which life would be impossible. But that is only the beginning of its role. Cholesterol takes part in the myelination of nerve fibers. That is, it forms the sheath around our nerves. This is very similar to the insulation on an electrical cable. It protects the wire from damage and improves conductivity. Myelin does the same for our nerves, speeding up and protecting the transmission of impulses between cells. In addition, cholesterol is a building material for a whole series of the most important molecules. For example, it is necessary for the synthesis of vitamin D3. The sun itself does not deliver ready-made vitamin D, as is sometimes thought. In reality, sunlight triggers a process in the skin in which cholesterol is converted into the active form of vitamin D. This vitamin, in turn, participates in the functioning of the immune system, bones, muscles, and many other processes. Next are the hormones. Cholesterol is the basis for sex hormones, testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. Without it, the normal functioning of the endocrine system is impossible. Another important point, cholesterol is needed for the formation of bile, and bile, as you know, or perhaps are hearing for the first time, helps to digest fats and absorb fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. All these functions are so important that the body did not rely only on an external source. Our body produces cholesterol on its own. About 80% of the cholesterol in the blood is the body's own production, and only about 20% comes from food. Different sources may give slightly different numbers, but the general conclusion is the same. We depend much more on the internal production of cholesterol than on its intake from outside. And here comes the question. If cholesterol is so useful, why does it cause fear in so many people? The thing is that it is often mentioned as a component of atherosclerotic plaques, and this is already associated with heart attacks and strokes. But imagine, a plaque contains not only cholesterol. For example, there is also calcium. So should we declare calcium an enemy too? That is a rhetorical question. The problem is not cholesterol itself, but what happens to it under certain conditions. Let us analyze the popular myths that have become associated with cholesterol. Myth first, the less cholesterol, the better. Not true. With too low a level of cholesterol, the functioning of the nervous system, hormones, and cell membranes is disrupted. It is like trying to build a house without bricks. Myth second, cholesterol comes only from food. Not true. Most of it is produced by the liver. This means that the level of cholesterol is influenced not only by food, but also by metabolism, genetics, and liver health. Myth third, I am thin, so I do not have problems with cholesterol. Not necessarily. Elevated cholesterol levels can occur in people with normal weight, especially if there is a hereditary predisposition. For clarity, let us imagine the life cycle of cholesterol as a journey with a circular route. Its path begins in the liver, where this remarkable building material is synthesized from acetylcoenzyme A in a multi-step biochemical process involving the enzyme hydroxymethyloglutarylcoenzyme A reductase. This is the very enzyme that statins often block to reduce cholesterol synthesis. We will talk more about statins in another video. After synthesis cholesterol is released into the bloodstream, where, along with other nutrients, including glucose, it travels to various cells and tissues of our body. It is important to remember that cholesterol performs all its beneficial functions only when it gets inside the cells and becomes part of their metabolism. But here is the challenge. Blood is a watery environment, while cholesterol is fat-like. And fat and water do not mix. So cholesterol needs reliable carriers. Nature has designed special transport containers called lipoproteins. Think of them as buses that deliver cholesterol to where it is needed. Among lipoproteins, there are different types of carriers, and this is where the familiar division into bad and good cholesterol comes from. In truth, the cholesterol molecule is always the same. There is no chemical difference. The distinction lies only in the type of bus carrying it, where it is headed, and how quickly it gets there. There are low-density lipoproteins, LDL. They are like buses that take cholesterol from the liver to the cells, delivering the building material where it is needed. There are high-density lipoproteins, HDL. These buses go in the opposite direction. They collect excess cholesterol from tissues and blood vessels and return it to the liver, where it is processed or disposed of. Why then has LDL been labeled bad? If there are too many of these buses and they remain in the blood for too long, they can undergo changes, oxidation, under the influence of free radicals. Oxidized LDL is recognized by the immune system as garbage and is engulfed by macrophages. This leads to the formation of foam cells and the buildup of material in the artery wall. Over time, this creates an atherosclerotic plaque. HDL, on the other hand, is called good, not just because it returns cholesterol to the liver, but also because it has protective properties. HDL particles can prevent LDL oxidation thanks to antioxidant enzymes like pyroxenase, and they also have anti-inflammatory effects. They work quickly, suffer little damage during transport, and therefore reduce the risk of cholesterol being deposited in the arteries. Cholesterol, in essence, is a builder, not a destroyer. We need it every day, and without it, our body cannot function normally. The real danger lies not in cholesterol itself, but in its damaged forms and in the imbalance of lipoproteins. So when you hear the phrase high cholesterol, it is crucial to understand. The important thing is which carrier we are talking about, in what amount, and in what condition. Cholesterol is only one part of a bigger picture. Yes, it participates in plaque formation, but it is not the main culprit. The development of atherosclerosis is influenced by chronic inflammation, high blood sugar, smoking, high blood pressure, sedentary lifestyle, genetics, and even the state of the gut microbiota. Today we have taken a detailed look at the role of cholesterol so that you better understand how it works and why it is so important to maintain its balance. In the following videos, we will talk about what influences that balance, which factors contribute to oxidized cholesterol, what lipoprotein A is and how it relates to vascular health, and also why everyone should check their homocysteine levels. Take care of yourselves and see you in the next video.